Hi, everyone. It's John from the Bigapplefilmfestival. We are covering the Long Island Film Expo, and one of the films that will be screening at the Long Island Film Expo is called The Perfect Fit from Emory Parker, who is with us today. Hi, Emory.
Hi.
So, Emory, if you could tell us a little bit about the Perfect Fit.
Sure. It is about a girl who is a young actress who is auditioning for the role that her mother originated on Broadway. They're doing a high school production of it. And it's about the tension that arises between the two of them and the girl's journey into becoming a young adult and making her own decisions.
Very cool. Now, is this considered a drama or a comedy or somewhere in between?
I would say it's somewhere in between. It's listed as a drama, but there are definitely lighter moments in there, especially from one of our actors, David Beach, who's been on Broadway in Something Rotten and a couple of roles on TV. And he's just hilarious, and everyone seems to love his comedic relief in there. So there are some lighter moments.
Very cool. Now, where did the concept come from? Is this a personal story on some level?
Well, I did a lot of theater in high school. And my senior year, I had the privilege of auditioning for the role of Rose in Gypsy. And I ended up getting the role, which it's a very challenging part, especially for 17-year-olds to take on. And in exploring that role, I tried to understand both sides of the story because it's also a mother-daughter story and about theater as well. So Rose is often looked at as a monster or this really mean woman who just is overbearing and takes advantage of her children. But I really tried to come at the part from a different angle and see her side of things and find the beauty in her and the love that she has for her children. So in that exploration, I knew I wanted to do a piece about it eventually when I was making my thesis film at NYU. And this story is sort of inspired by that and some of the other stage mothers I've seen in my theater department.
Now, so as an actress as well, do you appear in the film?
I do. So I played the role of Drew, which is the young actress auditioning for the role. So that was a really fun challenge. I have acted and directed before, so I kind of knew what to expect. And because my team, we were very, very prepared going into the shoot. We did lots of meetings. We had many shot lists and storyboards to know exactly what I wanted going into it so we can execute it without me checking playback every 5 seconds. So it managed to work out very nicely in that way.
So how did you go from training as an actress and then transitioning into filmmaking and directing and writing and all that?
So like I said, in high school I did a lot of theater and I became very obsessed with this musical called Legally Blonde based on the movie. And it's kind of a funny story. So the lead actress in that, I was just so inspired by everything she had done, the way that she could just transform into this character and make me feel so raw. It's Legally Blonde, you think maybe a lighthearted story, but it's actually, she really did an amazing job. Her name is Laura Bell Bundy. And I just wanted to meet her and learn something from her. So all these times I would wait outside of the stage door to try to see if I could talk to her or anything, and it never really worked out. But the funny thing is that after the show closed on Broadway, Laura Bell was doing a country album and a country music video, and they actually held this contest, which was a dance contest to do the dance break from her new music video, which is a country song. And I am a terrible, terrible dancer. So my idea was to do a parody of the video instead, and I play this wacky mother with rollers. It's actually funny. I played multiple parts in that too and ended up shooting it on a little flip camera. I don't even know if those still exist, but it was my first video, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was having so much fun doing it. and I submitted the video, not expecting anything because I wasn't really following the rules. I did do the dance break, but we don't need to talk about that.
Okay.
So I ended up winning the contest and going to Nashville to meet her, and we did like a little reshoot of the video, and it was just a life-changing moment for me because I had this conversation with her where we were talking about my interests and how I've always had these interests in theater and photography and writing, and film really combines all of that. So in that conversation, she really inspired me to keep making videos and keep doing what I was doing. And I ended up applying for a bunch of different film schools, but ended up at NYU Tisch School of the Arts, and just found so much support there and learned so much from my professors and was able to make this film. So that's kind of the journey that I took.
Cool. And now, was this film done as a theater piece before, or it originated as a film?
No, it originated as a film. So actually, in the past, I've learned from my mistakes. In my sophomore year of college, I did a musical web series called Pants Roll, and I used a ton of music, Broadway music, that I didn't have rights to, so I was not able to submit to festivals or put it online, really, and get any kind of recognition from it. So in creating this musical film, I decided that I would write the music for it myself, so there would be no issue with rights.
I see. Now, so you have a background basically in theater and film, then?
Yes.
So how do you, if you have a concept in mind such as this one, how do you determine whether it should be for the stage or whether it should be on film?
Well, for me, this one felt like it should be a film because, well, actually one day maybe it would be fun to make it a musical and do the whole thing. I haven't really thought about it much, but I wanted to make this a film because I haven't seen much else like it in film. While it is represented in theater with the musical Gypsy and it's maybe a few other shows, I feel that this kind of mother-daughter story hasn't really been told on screen in this specific way, and I really wanted to show those intimate moments. And if you see the film, there are just, at the end, there's some looks between the characters. There's just this exchange, and that's something that you wouldn't be able to see in theater. So I wanted to focus on those smaller moments, those smaller reactions that you can only see on film.
Okay. Now this is a short film, The Perfect Fit?
Yes.
Is that correct? So let me just ask you in terms of the sort of short film concept now. What are you? I mean, I know there's various goals for making a short film, and sometimes it's because the filmmakers want to eventually expand it into a feature. Do you eventually want to expand it into a feature film, or do you specifically just want to market this as a short?
Well, right now I'm just marketing it as a short. I don't have a feature script written. I think this story could be told as a feature, but it would need to be reworked. I made it specifically for this short without having something else in mind. So I think if I did a feature, it would be just an expanded version of this with the same character arcs, but it would be drawn out. And that's why I'm not sure if it would be right for a feature, because the short has those arcs in it already, and there's not much after that. So that's what I'm thinking for this particular project. But if I were to do it, I would keep the same ideas and emotions through it, but probably change the story and just expand it over a longer period of time.
Okay. And so after the festival circuit, what are your plans with the film? Are you going to distribute it on your own or go through a distributor?
Well, I've had a couple of people interested in distributing it, but it is still pretty early on in the festival run. We've screened all around the country and premiered in New York now, screened at 3 New York festivals, and we're doing the Long Island one coming up, and we have another one after that. So I'm not rushing into anything with distribution, but I think it would have a nice place online because there is an audience for theater fans and for young women. So I think that could be a good place for it. And I'm just hoping to work on other projects and use this as a calling card to get my first feature.
Right, right. And so what festivals have you screened at so far?
So we screened at Oxford Film Festival, LA Women's International Film Festival, Wham Fest, New York Shorts International Film Festival, Astoria Film Festival, and just a few days ago, Soho International Film Festival.
Oh, very cool. So do you have the date and time of your screening at Long Island Film Expo?
Yes, it is July 13th at 1 p.m.
July 13th, 1 p.m., and that's at the
Mm-hmm.
Belmore Playhouse?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right,
Mm-hmm.
sounds good. So Emory Parker, and the film is called
Mm-hmm.
The Perfect Fit, and it's playing July 13th, that's the
Yes,
opening day of the festival, correct?
I believe
Yes.
so.
Yes, July 13th,
Mm-hmm.
the Long Island Film Expo, Belmore
Mm-hmm.
Playhouse, Belmore, Long Island. All right, sounds good, and thank you so much for speaking with us, and we're looking
Thank
forward to
you.
checking out your film. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now. Bye.
Bye.